I am the greatest.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
You won't do shit. Just stick and move. And just making you understand. Now stick and move. Keep your hands up.
Welcome to a new episode of the Stick and Move podcast. I'm your host, Trey, here with my homeboy, Sam. And today, guys, this is not clickbait. Sam and I, we want to have the discussion. I know this is going to be a heated topic in our comments section, but as you guys can see through the thumbnail, we want to know, is Terrence Crawford overrated? So, Sam, before telling me yes or no, just tell me your general thoughts about Crawford. When did you first hear about him? When he started making a splash, in your opinion, that kind of thing?
He was, for me, when I started seeing that he was a real threat, if you want to call it a threat, was when he beat Kell Brook.
Right.
When he beat Kell Brook. But, you know, we're going to get into this topic. That was a busted up Kell Brook, bro.
Well, to be fair, okay? Errol Spence, I know that's the rivalry. It's like Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. It's like CANELO and Benavidez now, or Triple G now, right? To be fair, when Errol Spence beat Kell Brook for, I think, his first main title, right? It was after Triple G too. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's when I started seeing that you know, the dude can fight. I mean, the dude can fight. I mean, what he did against, you know, the Kowalskis guy, you know, I don't know. I mean, say what you want about the Jose Benavidez Jr. fight, but the Jeff Horn, but go ahead.
A lot of his, I don't know if he has the misfortune of being a boxer with kind of like the perfect timing. I don't know if it's manufactured, like he had a grand plan. Like it kind of feels like Floyd Mayweather had a grand plan on timing, and he just knew it all along, and he broke down certain fighters to, you know, pump up his stats and resume. I don't know if Terrence Crawford had that kind of thing, but it kind of feels like Terrence Crawford's rise to the top. And I'm not disputing that he does not have skills. He has tremendous amount of skills, probably pound for pound the most skillful boxer today. But when we bring everything together, a lot of his opponents seem to feel like it's either perfect timing or he timed it perfectly. What do you think about that thought?
No, I mean, I think he's one of, you know, bro, his skills are undeniable.
Right.
His skills are undeniable. The debate that I have and what we've talked about is Terrence Crawford overrated? Look.
Talk to me.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's elite. I'm not. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. But I'm not gonna, because you know why, bro? This is why.
Talk to me.
He didn't fight the champions like the way Floyd fought champions. The best in the world. He didn't fight the battles that MANNYPACQUIAO fought. Do you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You got something on your mind?
You said this throughout our, because we talked about, we've sprinkled this conversation a little bit throughout our previous episodes. You've kind of brought up that he always fought Errol's scraps. Can you expand on that?
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, dude, he beat a Kell Brook. That was already broken down by Triple G, was already broken down by the other eye socket by Errol Spence.
Right.
Okay. Then Sean Porter, bro. Sean Porter lost to everybody.
He did.
Sean Porter lost to everybody. And it's like Errol Spence said, look, you beat a Sean Porter that was already contemplating retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean about he was fighting, you know, Errol Spence leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, You and I, people don't know that Sam and I often talk a lot about boxing off the camera. We'll talk an hour just about boxing off the camera. Him and I are constantly like, man, we should just make an episode on it. And this is why we're doing it now. Kind of random, even though Crawford's not really in the news as much anymore. But let's go to that. Do you think if he was more active, we brought this up a few episodes ago. Dude, he had his major win against Errol Spence. And dude, he's like MIA. He backs out on the Boots fight. He loses what I think his title, or he's forced to vacate his title because of that. And he's like, that's fine. Like, I don't know. See, I asked you that question. Is he a victim of perfect timing, or is he creating the perfect timing out these fighters? And I know he's a much older boxer. You know, he's 35 years old, going on 36 fast. Is his lack of inactivity spoiling what can become? I mean, after he beat Errol Spence, people were already talking about him as a top 5, top 10 boxer of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Jermell Charlo called him out after the Canelo fight.
Yeah, even after defeat.
Yeah. Even after being defeated, he's like, you know what? I'll fight Crawford. You know, bring him to 154. You know, let's do it. Whatever. Blah blah blah. He don't even mention that, bro.
Right.
He don't even talk about when it comes to Boots. It's the same thing. You know, people get angry with Canelo about. No, well, you know, he doesn't bring nothing to the table. Blah blah blah. You know, I mean, what is he gonna do? He's gonna fight the winner of Tim Tszyu and Fundura. You know, and I mean, bro, if we want to talk about Terrence Crawford, look, bro, like you said, he's one of probably the best skilled boxer right now in boxing.
Right.
The problem I have is I cannot throw him in a category as like a Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao or many other boxers that fought in so many champions in their. Go ahead.
Let me ask you: is he top 5, top 10 all time? Because, like I said, after Errol Spence, everybody was throwing him on there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was saying he's like on the Mount Rushmore, the greatest welterweights of all time. What do you think about those arguments there?
All right. Well, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no because of his resume. I mean, he fought a one-dimensional Errol Spence, bro. He fought like you told me, like that Errol Spence was a shell of himself after that car accident.
Dude, I've been talking about. I lived in Oak Cliff for 5 years, and I was there during the height of Errol Spence's career. Half of my students were always talking about Errol Spence. There was 2 guys he talked about in my school. Was Errol Spence and Von Miller, the football player, because you know he was a local great as well. He went to DeSoto. But anyway, they both went to DeSoto High School. But I remember when the accident happened, you can hear the soul taken out of my students because he was supposed to be the guy that put Oak Cliff on the map if it wasn't already. Oak Cliff has had tremendous athletes over there. And I bring that up because you and I, even before we started this contest, I even saw when he fought Danny Garcia. I saw when he fought Ugas. I was like, dude, there is something up with him. He is not the same boxer. And going back, I know I'm repeating myself. Is Crawford just, you know, hey, man, it is what it is. Perfect timing. I got the Errol Spence after the accident. It is what it is. Or is there some kind of like, you know, he saw the accident. He saw the flaws that I was seeing in Errol Spence after that post-accident. And he was like, now I'll fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's perfect timing, bro. I think you're right. It's perfect timing. I mean, those are his opponents. That's what's given to him.
Well, look at the champs that he beat on the way to, you know, proclaiming who he is now. He fought a Ricky Burns across the pond. You know, I think Errol Spence did the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. He fought Delorme. Even though he'll drop him 3 times, he fought Victor Postol. He fought Julius Ndongu, a Jeff Horn that we all knew was not worthy of the title that Pacquiao had at the time, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, his resume just doesn't line up. I'll go even further. I talked to you about this the other day. People often criticize Julio Cesar Chavez for fighting plumbers with debut records or fighting plumbers with losing records. And this was in the early 80s, sorry. Look at Terrence Crawford. If you see his first, if I'm not mistaken, after his first fight, he'll fight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It would take 11 fights. 11 of his first 12 fights, all boxers with losing records.
1-4, 8-25, 5-6, 9-10, 3-11, 9-14 losses, 1-3 losses, 23. He fought a Marty Robbins. That was 23 wins, 45. 23 wins, 45 losses, 6 wins, 10 losses. I mean, dude, I get what you're saying.
That's a quarter of his career, bro. A quarter of his career is a losing record of boxers, and we're not talking about Devin Haney, who went to the bars of Tijuana in Mexico to fight scrappy fighters. You know what I mean? These guys were legit pros fighting in mostly in places, on the American side. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And even then, even after he finally crossed over and fought in Anthony Mora, I remember him. The boxers after that, they weren't really acclaimed. It wouldn't really be until I'm looking right here. Who?
October 5th.
Yeah.
October 5th, 2013, he fought an undefeated fighter named Andrei Kilmov.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, dude, that guy fought nobody, bro.
Nobody,
bro.
Finally gets a shot against Ricky Burns. I mean, and I'll give him credit where credit is due. On these big title fights, he dominated them, even to the point of Errol Spence. Dominated 100%. You want to go into the most dominant? I mean, you can argue that what he did to Errol Spence was one of the greatest boxing masterpieces of all time. But let me go back. Does he beat a pre-accident Errol Spence?
Ooh.
Because look at Errol Spence's resume. Look at who he beat to get to all his titles. I mean, he beat a Brook. Yes, it was after Triple G. He beat Lamont Peterson, very well-respected boxer that he looked up to. He beat an undefeated Ocampo. He beat a Sean Porter at the time who had the other belts.
A good fight.
That was for unification. You know what I'm saying? And then he gets into his accident and the COVID year, a lot of years of delaying and stuff like that. And he was never really the same boxer again. But I mean, does Crawford win that fight the same way if he never had that car accident? Talk to me.
I think it would have been a more even fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would do, bro. After that accident, man, I think it was before he went through the whole Danny Garcia thing, but everybody beats Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was right before the Ugas fight. Bro, I remember commenting. I said, his eye does not look right, bro.
Right.
It does not look right. And we saw him being open for that overhand right. We saw it.
Right.
And there was just, he had like a blind spot.
Right.
Errol Spence had a blind spot. And he was getting hit, bro. He was getting hit. That's just what I saw. Just my opinion, man.
Well, we did. And you and I would talk about that. It's like, man, this is not, I mean, Spence still had the endurance. He still had that phenomenal pound for pound, phenomenal straight jab. But, bro, you're right. He had that blind spot that all of the boxers were taking advantage of ever since Danny Garcia, Ugas, and, of course, Crawford will put the career ender on him that it seems like. Let's turn it around a little bit. Let's give him some credit here. Okay. Why do you think people already have him top 5, top 10 of all time?
Because of what he did to Errol Spence.
You think it was just that one bout?
Yeah, it was that bout because it was like the fight of of the decade, or whatever. It was an anticipated fight. I mean, dude, I had Spence. I thought Spence was going to win by knockout.
Yeah, you and I had an episode, a pre-fight episode, and you and I both had Spence. You had Spence by knockout. I had Spence by decision. I just thought he would just pepper him all day long.
It's his style, bro. It's his style because look, man, Terrence Crawford has a beautiful attack, a beautiful style of boxing. He's a great southpaw, bro. I mean, the guy's intelligent. The IQ is high. It's just for me to consider him a Mount Rushmore guy or an elite fighter. I need to see him do more. The problem is that the fights are not getting made.
Right.
So what fight do you need Errol Spence to win to consider him okay? Yeah, he's elite. He's for real.
To not even have this conversation.
Yes.
You and I were debating. Debating. Do we have this conversation, this episode today, as overrated, or is he a Hall of Famer? Now, let me answer your question first. I do not want to see a rematch with Errol Spence. I think he was done after the accident. So even if he fights him again, it doesn't. Maybe 20 years from now, when you look at the resume and you forget about the histories of these boxers, what they were going through specifically, yeah, it will look good on the resume. But I think he needs to unify 154. I think he needs to fight Charlo. I think he needs to fight Charlo at 160 since he does want to make that climb. I think he does need to fight Zoo. He needs to fight Virgil Ortiz. All those up-and-coming boxers at the 154. 154 is respectable. If he wants to enhance his resume, in my opinion, he needs to go after those monsters and those hungry boxers at the 154, 160 range for me to consider him not overrated. So I guess you could say I am considering him. I do believe he is overrated, not because of skill, but because of straight up resume, bro. I take what you've told me, and I never thought about it. Dude, he did fight Earl Scraps or did fight boxers that were already done.
Yeah.
I can't overlook that. And then to the first half or the first 25% of his career is against guys that were it wasn't just like a record of 3-4. It was like 3 wins, 9 losses. You know what I mean? Like, this guy shouldn't really be fighting anymore. He's more of a sparring guy. Why is it even a legit bout? But going back to what he needs, I think he needs to. I mean, look, he even had fights where he struggled. He struggled against Gamboa. He struggled against the guy with the funny name. What is it? Kavalaskis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think that's the Mean Machine, or what's the name?
Yeah, the Mean Machine even knocked him down in that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, but that doesn't him going down or struggling. That doesn't bother me. That's part of boxing. But I just need a better resume. And if he wants to end his late 30s, the end of his career, he needs to go to 154. Clean it out. Take even the upcoming guys like Virgil Ortiz, Zoo, those guys over there, Jamel, and then work his way out the way he wants to. I think for the lack of a start of a career, I think he needs to end it with better resume.
I agree 100%. I think he needs a better resume. I would look, bro. Victor Ortiz knocked out the Mean Machine, bro. I need to see him against Virgil Ortiz. But hold up. But look, it's not also his fault, man. These sanctioning bodies are not making this happen.
It's true. You're
not
wrong.
What I'm saying? Like we can't just blame him for he's not fighting this guy, he's not fighting that guy, he's not fighting Mel Charlo. He's already vacated his titles to be mandatory, something like that, against the Supandura fight.
Right.
If he wins that, he's going to be what, 3-time undisputed?
Yeah, he'll be 3-time, and that's why you and I were like, you know what, bro? Despite the lousy resume, He is a two-time undisputed. So it's kind of like you got to give recognition where it is. Would I have liked better opponents? Yes, I would have. Would I have liked a perfect world scenario where Earl Spence was a dominating fighter again? Yes, I would. But you got to take what you can, brother. We go
Yeah.
back to Floyd Mayweather. It's not his fault that Mosley and De La Hoya were already these battered down fighters already.
Yeah.
You just fight who you fight, and you know, I'm a firm believer when it comes down to history. You know, you look at a boxing resume, you just want to see the names. You're not going to know really the in and out of the details, who was hurt at the time, how old was certain boxers when they fought each other. You're just going to see like, wow, he beat Earl Spence twice. Wow, he beat Jermell Charlo. Wow, like that's all you see. Think of it like Rocky Marciano's boxing record. He has a phenomenal boxing record, beating guys like Ezra Charles, and Joe Louis, and all these greats. But a lot of people don't really talk about that there were much older, beaten down boxers at the time. It just looks great on paper. So
So
for,
are you saying that Rocky Marciano's overrated?
well, we had an entire episode on it. And the reason why I believe Marciano was not overrated is because, dude, he was always underweight, bro. He was pretty much a light heavyweight fighting heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? And I have a feeling we're going to talk about him again on an upcoming episode. But I think for Crawford, I think he needs to finish out his career. Forget about Canelo. I think he needs to go on and try to fight the best at 154, maybe at 160, maybe even fight a Boo Boo who goes up from 168, 160 at a time. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I agree 100%. I think he has to go and get the winner of Sue and Fundura and hopefully get a male fight and fight Boots. But damn, bro, nobody's fighting Boots. I don't know what the issue is there.
So why
But
isn't the Crawford avoiding Boots? I mean, we're gonna put Crawford. People put Crawford on an all-time list already. Why isn't that leaving him as much sting as Canelo Benavides?
I think that Boots brings less to the table compared to Benavides and Canelo.
Yeah,
I
you're
think,
probably
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like that's my opinion. I think it's just that, but I mean, who else is he gonna fight, bro? He should have fought
Well, that's
Boots,
all he
man.
has left at 147. You know what I'm saying? Boots, that's
Yeah,
it. I want to see Boots and Crawford. I just kind of feel like for Crawford, well, let me ask you, why do you think Crawford, if he is avoiding Boots, why do you think he's avoiding Boots? Is it because he doesn't bring anything to the table, kind of like Canelo and Benavides?
I think it's too. I think it's a high risk, low reward, man.
Ooh, high
Honestly,
risk, low reward. Wow, I like
that's
that.
that's what I think it is. He doesn't. He knows Boots is a talented, young, hungry lion, bro, and the payout is dude. Crawford's 36 years old.
Mhm.
By the time he gets his next fight, bro, he'll probably be 37 years old.
Wow.
Think about it. Think about it. I mean, because this fight with Sue and Fundura, it's gonna happen. How long after that will we get a Bud versus the winner of that fight?
Well, he's already taken almost 10 months off
Yeah,
between. I mean, it's going to be over a year because, yeah, it's going to be over a year unless Crawford has a pickup fight in between Zoo and Fundura. Wow. So
and put it
I
this
just,
way, in
yeah,
my pound for pound list right now, this day, today, um, um, I don't care what what anybody tells me or wants to say, but I got Devin Haney over Crawford in the
mhm.
pound for pound list.
And I had
I
Inoue over Crawford as well.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I just think that the names that Devin Haney has done, bro. I mean, dude, that Haney fights everybody, bro, and there's no denying it.
do you think? Because I know I'm going back and forth on this timing thing. do you think also the misfortune of him not fighting Manny Pacquiao was detrimental to his resume, if possible? I mean, I know Pacquiao was already this old, beaten down boxer. He already lost to Marquez by that devastating knockout. Gotten robbed by Bradley and went through had a trilogy with them. Do you think that took away a lot from Crawford as an up and coming boxer? What was that, 2017, 2018, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, he wanted it, bro. He expressed that he really wanted to fight with Manny. I mean, because he knows that he needed that name in his resume. You know what I mean? What's hurting Boots, what's hurting Crawford, what's hurting a lot of these fighters, including David Benavidez, is politics. It's the politics in boxing.
I remember him firing him live after the fight.
Yeah.
Because like he was getting tired of being restricted down. So let's finally answer the question. I already said that he is overrated. Is he overrated for you?
Look, he's a beautiful boxer, one of the best boxers today. And it hurts me to say it. But the way people are treating him as this king, pound for pound king, I think he's overrated. His opponents just don't match up to what elite fighters, fight. You know what I mean?
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Look, man, a quarter of his career is literally against guys that all had losing records. And then it was a bunch of journeymen in between, and then a bunch of, like you like to say, scraps of Earl Spence, and then a torn down, barely a shell of a man boxer in Errol Spence that he took it from, that he took the titles from. I'm also going to lean as overrated. I think what carries him, though, is that he is a two-time unified champion. To me, that's top level shelf. I mean, I wish it was against better opponents, but you can only fight who's in front of you. So you have any final thoughts about this episode?
Yeah. Look, man, I do want to express to everybody that, bro, he has skills.
Yeah, definitely has skills. Yeah.
Yeah, he has skills. He's a top pound for pound fighter. He is. But when it comes to elite and to call him a king over, legends, I just can't go with it. It's just the opponents, the people he's beaten have been nobody. Just look it up.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
I agree with you. I'm with you 100%. Without a doubt, he is pound for pound right now most skilled boxer currently. I don't have a number one. I have Inoue number one. But we'll leave it at that. Do you have any final words for our audience out there, guys?
I'd like to thank everybody that's watching our channel. Thank you guys for the new people that have subscribed. We're trying to build this channel, trying to get to 1,000 before the year ends. And keep sharing, keep liking, commenting, whatever. If you want to bash me, that's fine.
Oh, we're going to get back after this episode.
Yeah, but we appreciate everybody. Thank you, guys.
Yes, I couldn't have said it any better, guys. Just keep liking, guys. Those likes are very important, huge for the algorithm. So hit the like or even the dislike. I mean, we're going to get that for a lot of this episode, and I'm cool with that. And we're going to post a new episode every Monday and Wednesday. And as I always like to say, don't forget to stick and move, baby.
I am the greatest. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
You won't do shit. Just stick and move. And when you understand that, stick and move.